Good morning, and welcome to the journey. It's good to have you with us this morning. Now, you might be wondering, Rick, how come we are not live this morning? How come we've got this little video going? Well, it's because this morning we are inviting you to participate in what we're calling a backyard pilgrimage. And I want to be able to introduce that this morning and invite you to take advantage of this interactive worship experience. So, as you can tell, I'm actually sitting at the journey, and if you know the journey at all, you realize I'm sitting in front of the lobby fireplace. And you're like, Rick, why are you sitting in the lobby fireplace instead of being outside if this is going to be a backyard pilgrimage? That's a great question, and here's the answer. Because it's not Sunday morning, it's Friday afternoon when I'm recording this, and it is very wet outside. So I was planning on doing this in my own backyard to be able to go, hey, welcome to the Journey's Backyard Pilgrimage from my backyard, and instead you're getting it from the lobby. However, I hope that doesn't change the fact that we are inviting you along on this interactive worship experience. The idea behind this backyard pilgrimage is for us to take our worship outside and to be able to stand in awe of God and worship him as we observe his creation. In fact, that's what we hope you'll do. We hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing this, that you have an opportunity to observe what's going on, reflect on what you see or hear or taste or touch or smell, and be able to marvel at God's creative genius. To be able to stand or sit in wonder as a child at the marvelousness of his creation. And then to be able to stand or sit in awe of God, of who he is, of all that he's done, and what he's done for us. It's always been said that you can tell great artists by their art, great craftsmen by their craft. And when we take a moment to take a step back from our busy schedules, our scurrying around, and actually observe what God's creation is, it draws us to worship him. I had this the other day. In fact, I was kind of excited when it happened because in so many ways, like you just have busy weeks and they're full weeks and they go by. And one of the habits that our family's developed over the years is that we have dinner together and then we'll do devotions at the end of dinner. And then if the weather's nice, we'll go out for a walk. We've been doing that with our kids since we were little, and Gwen and I continue to do that with the kids out of the house. And our normal pattern is we step outside of our house and we go through Kanemoto Park and down Missouri and the Greenway and back. Well, on this particular night we were walking and there's this planter that's right by the bridge that's full of what looked to me like lavender bushes. I'm not exactly sure what they are, so if anybody's got an idea and can tell me, I'd appreciate it. But that's what they look like. Look like lavender bushes. And we walked by and I was just ready to blip right past them, and Gwen turned around and said, wow, those bushes are fervent with activity. And I stopped and I turned around to look and I kind of saw the branches sway back and forth a little bit. But as I took a step closer, I was amazed at what I saw, and I would walk right past it. What I saw was hundreds, if not thousands, of bees, honeybees, and these little green bees I'd really never paid attention to before. And not only were bees, kind of like zipping around and flying between the stalks themselves, but then I noticed there was this activity where it was like these bees, almost like a flock, would move in concert together between the bushes, and between all of these bushes was this just flurry of activity. And it struck me how in this little corner of Kanemoto Park we saw the interconnectedness of God's creation, of how God allows a plant to grow that's got nectar and pollen, and the bees come in and take the nectar and spread the pollen and allow other plants to be able to grow because of it. And I stood there for a moment and marveled at God's created genius. And I wondered a bit what the little green bees were that I'd never seen before. And I had an opportunity to stand in awe of God. And I took a step back and I looked over the landscape of Kanemona Park, and I saw the trees and the pine trees that were next to the Tower of Compassion. And I thought, how much activity is happening in those trees or in those pine trees or in the grass beyond that I can't see right now because I'm too busy on my walk or I'm going too fast. And what I would have missed if I hadn't stopped to look at what was going on in these bushes. And in all of that, it gave me a moment to worship God. That's the desire of this activity, of this experience, is to put you in a place where you get to stand back and observe and reflect, where you get to marvel and wonder and stand in awe so that worship is drawn out of you, where you get to connect with God because of his creative genius, to look around at both the beauty of it and to recognize the brokenness of it, to be able to go, wow, this is the broken version? It's amazing. And yet have opportunities to go, yeah, and this is where I see the brokenness. And to be drawn back to this recognition that for God so loved the world, not just humanity, but those bees and those lavender bushes and those trees, the grass that's in your backyard, the flowers that are out on the trails, that God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So that's our invitation. For you to take this Sunday morning, or sometime this weekend, to steal away time, to wander into your backyard or around your neighborhood or up into the mountains in a trail, to observe and reflect, to marvel and wonder and stand in awe and worship our God. May God be with you.